Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to talk about it. We're celebrating our 1 year anniversary come this weekend. So
It's exciting. Now, before we go into it, obviously you're the number one rusher of all time in the NFL. You've won Super Bowls. You were a high school star, college. What do you consider are a couple of your biggest achievements for you personally that you really are proud of?
I'm proud of the simple fact that I have been a consistent football player from start to finish. I think I've grown at every level. I've learned a lot at every level, which means that at every level you have to humble yourself. You have to understand what you're going up against. You have to be willing to fight and go through the fire in order to become a better football player all the way around. Because what I knew in high school was something that didn't always translate into college, and I had to learn something new in college. So I kept growing as a football player. I never stayed the same. Kept challenging status quo in terms of status quo of myself and challenging myself to be better and wanting to be better. And I think when you look at it and when I look back and reflect over my overall career, the consistency that I've shown at every level has been there. And that part I am extremely proud about. I was never too high, I was never too low. It was just steady, steady, steady. And I think it's that grind that has helped me become who I am as an individual and see things completely different.
I think also your consistency. You could do. We were talking. I was talking with Florence's brothers last night, Tom, John, and Ange, and they were saying what a complete player you were. They're huge Walter Payton fans, so they weren't ready to say you were better than Walter, but you could do it all. You blocked as good as you ran. You did. You caught the ball. You did everything. I saw a special on the NFL Network last night about you when you missed the first couple games, and Jerry Jones. And you were battling a little bit, and they asked if they could win without you, and after a while the answer was no. So they had to get you back. So
No, I mean, but I understood why they said yes, because as a player, you have to believe that you can win with the players that you currently have on the team. You have to go into the game. No one goes into a game thinking that since I don't have all of my weapons, we cannot win. We just have to execute. Now, granted, some teams may have more talent than others, but nonetheless, execution is the bottom line.
yeah, I
And
think
so I understood it. But nonetheless, I'm glad that Jerry and I got things worked out and we got it right back on track and went right back to the Super Bowl and won another one. So it worked
yeah.
out for all of us.
They threw Troy Aikman under the bus. What was he supposed to say? No, we can't. We stink without him. I mean,
Exactly,
it just
exactly.
the
No, he's
media
not.
cracks me up when they
Yeah,
ask questions. It
but
doesn't make
you know
sense.
that
Now, who are your five greatest running backs that you think? Everyone has their list. Who do you think are the five best, at least for you?
all right, I'm gonna start off with Walter Payton, Jim Brown, or I'm gonna go Jim Brown, Walter Payton, myself, Barry Sanders, and whoever's the fifth leading rusher in the National Football League.
You know, the guy that I always loved watching was
Billy
Billy
Sims.
Sims.
Billy
I
Sims.
was an Oklahoma fan growing up, and I just loved Billy Sims, and he was amazing. And I wish they had modern medicine back then because a lot of those players would have even played longer.
Yeah, a lot of them had the potential to play longer. I think like today's football players, they have access to so much more or better medicine and better treatment, better rehabilitation stuff and than we did. And we had it better than Roger Staubach and that crew did. So I think the evolution of sports itself has gotten better from a rehabilitation standpoint and workouts and training.
Yeah.
However, I think the game is lackluster when it comes down to quality teaching. I don't see as much intellectual players as I used to. I don't see a bunch of student of the game like I used to. And I see people not understanding game situations, and that may be due to some of the poor coaching. You don't
Yeah.
have the quality coaching like a Jimmy Johnson or Belichick and people that are truly, truly trained and understand how to implement these things within the team system. I think teams now and players now are so individualistic that you don't
That's what
really
was
have a
nice with
team.
Yeah, that's what was great with you is you guys, let's face it, all athletes have some sort of ego. You wouldn't be good if you didn't. But when you
Exactly.
guys went, I saw you in the playoffs against the 49ers. I'm a Raiders fan, so I always liked you when they beat the 49ers. But you, Troy, I mean Irvin, you all had your own little way of doing things, own person. But when you guys played, it was team all the way, and that is something I think is really missing with a lot of athletes.
Is missing, whether it's in football, basketball. I see it right now, too many people want to jump up and celebrate something that's very meaningful but minor in the context of what's going on right now. Because if your team is getting blown out, there's nothing to be celebrating. I don't care if you got a pick, I don't care if you got a sack. You need to get on off the field and try to challenge your teammates to become better because you're getting blown out for a reason. And it ain't because you just made one play. The great players make multiple plays week in and week out consistently.
Yeah.
They're not up, they're not down, they're there all the time. And they are on the grind. And I don't see a lot of people on the grind.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not elderly yet, but I'm not young, and I kind of remember the people of my father's era. And I talked to Phil Villapiano about it at the Raiders, and he kind of said the same thing. He said, "There's just not that love of the small things of the game, learning about certain things, and doing things right, and doing things as a team." And it really, you could see it. Some players like to just succeed, and as long
Right.
as they're succeeding, it's all good in the hood, you know. And
Yeah. And that's really not how the game is played. I mean,
mm-mm.
yeah, you can be a guy that catch 100 passes a year, but if your team is 1 and 15, the 100 passes mean nothing to anybody. I mean, matter of fact, it's forgotten real quickly
Yeah,
because people gonna quickly remind you that you was 1 and 15.
yeah,
And yeah, you may be a bright spot, but yeah, you are just a bright spot. Bright
yep,
spots don't shine a big light. But
amen, yeah,
when you become a Super Bowl champion, that light is bright, and that light shines upon a lot of people, and a lot of
yeah,
people can see. And that's a beautiful thing about being part of a team because you learn how to sacrifice for each other. You learn how um, to play unselfish football and to play consistent, play together.
yeah. Now, your team that you've brought up with your restaurant, and it's called Emmitt's Vegas. Boy, I'm telling you, Emmett, the reviews are great. People are loving on the food. And eccentric, I think, a very good, especially with the West Coast loving their sushi and their fish and pescatarians and all that. You have a really neat and unique steakhouse menu. I know Antoine Smith, you have a great chef, but I forgot the name of the chef that created your menu. I forgot his
That
name, and
menu
boy,
have
we need to give
changed.
him
That
a
menu
shout
have
out.
changed. That menu have changed so much. And
Yeah.
It looked
so,
good online
Boy, it
though.
was good.
So good.
so if you have never been to the restaurant, when you get to Vegas, you got to come try it because Chef Antoine, has put his fingerprints all over that menu. We have toned down the menu. We've leaned it up, but the foods that are the most popular, the tomahawks, the sushi, the butter cake, even the bolognese have gotten rave reviews. And so there's so much quality food on the restaurant, but the steaks are phenomenal.
And you know what I like, Emmett, is you don't have to sell your children to go there. I mean, it's a place that Gordon Ramsay, that's not a, you know, it's affordable. I mean, you're not going to have 3 meals a day there for a week, but it's affordable for a steakhouse. And that's what I really saw right off. When you go to Vegas, it's such a crazy place for for prices, but it's an affordable place to take. Especially guys, take your wife out, go to see a
Yes.
comedy club and or some show and go there. It's amazing food.
It is amazing food. It's an amazing experience itself. I'm glad that you say that it is affordable. We love it. Obviously, I mean, we just think that the experience itself is second to none. And if you take the time out of your busy schedule to not only fly to Vegas, but get into one of the hotels And if you want to have a unique experience outside of something or a hotel that you frequent at year in and year out or 3 or 4 times a year, you need to try Emmitt's Vegas because I think you'll get a very unique experience. You're gonna get quality food and you're gonna have a good time.
And what I loved, Emmett, too, was the minute I heard that your team had reached out to us and talked to us, it was Junior Bridgman, because I admired that guy so much. And I saw Shaq talking about him and Charles Barkley, how much he taught them and everything. And as an African American, I mean, it's an amazing thing because when you said restaurant, I'm doing a restaurant, but this isn't fly by night. I'm not here to make a name. I'm here to make a long lasting business and a relationship. Talk about that type of spirit that's going on at your restaurant too. It's a real positive vibe.
Well, it is positive vibe. I mean, I've been a positive person my whole life. I've tried to inspire people to their level of greatness, and I try to live by example myself, which is not always easy, but I still try to do it no matter what. And there's been great inspiration, whether it's Junior Bridgman or Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan or Roger Staubach and many, many others that are doing great things in the community out there. I find inspiration everywhere, everywhere, and meaningful inspiration. People that I know, some that I don't know, some that I watch from afar. We just lost George Foreman, for example, watch from
The
afar.
George Foreman Grill.
Yeah, he did the George Foreman Grill. And so Roger Staubach was a mentor and led me into the real estate business, Magic Johnson and friends and so forth. So inspiration comes from all facets of life. And for the restaurant itself, I want that experience to be spread out. I mean, Southern cuisines, Texas cuisines, West Coast cuisines, Asian cuisines, how you look at it, but we want it all to be top notch. And I understand you cannot do everything perfectly, but we're doing a pretty damn good job
Yeah.
at getting it close as we possibly can because the experiences that people are having and the quality of food, people rave about the food, and that's really why you go into business for the food anyway, and go into restaurant business that is. But then the experience, the services takes it over the top. And that's really what we're after.
Now, you're such a legend in the sports world, and obviously now you're an entrepreneur, you're in the business world. What type of advice would you give to somebody who maybe wants to make all their dreams come true as well? Because you have been a mentor to so many people. What would you say out there to like a young man or a young woman who says, you know what? Emmitt's my idol. Like I want to do some of the things he's doing. What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, I would say if some of the things that I'm doing inspires you, but you may not love, you need to find the things that you love and allow that to be your inspiration. If you love football, you gotta love it. It ain't football isn't a sport that you just like. It's a football that you absolutely love.
Mm.
If you want to inspire people, live a life of inspiration and allow that to continue to inspire people. That means going through challenges. That means overcoming challenges and overcoming obstacles and inspiring people in a positive way and just giving them great vibes. In the restaurant business, it's the same way. It was not a passion for me. It really hasn't. But what is a passion for me is winning. And winning in the restaurant means that I got to have quality food, quality service, quality experience, and quality people to help all those things happen. And so at the end of the day, that's where the passion comes from for me, because what's really important for the restaurant is to be passionate about serving people like yourself. Serving people is what life is all about. Service. Life is about service. Whether I'm on a football field and I'm rushing for 125 yards and scoring 2 touchdowns against the Chicago Bears, or whether I'm rushing for 230 some yards against the Philadelphia Eagles, my Cowboy fans are happy when we're winning. The best part about that is if I can earn the respect of the Bears and the Eagles and the Skins or the Niners or the Raiders or anyone like that through my play, then I have achieved what I set out to accomplish. And that is to go beyond the game. The restaurant and business is going beyond the game.
Emmitt, you're such an inspiration to a lot of people. I've read so many things that people have been impressed by you. Name some of the people when you did make this restaurant and did decide to do the menu. Did you rely on those experts, or did you have some things that you wanted to really push in your restaurant that gave
Most,
you inspiration?
right. Mostly I relied on the experts, but I they put my fingerprints all over it. I wanted to have steak. Obviously, being from Texas, they have a lot of steak. That's
Oh
all
yeah,
we beef, beef, beef.
barbecue
Then I
steak.
wanted to
Yeah.
have some cuisines out of the South, whether it was the butter cake or whether it's the bolognese or whether it's some kind of the shrimp out of the spicy shrimp and everything else out of Louisiana. And I also love sushi. I pick
Yeah.
things that I absolutely love eating. And so I've been a lot of places, been around the world, and I've tried almost everything. And so having been around the world and having those different types of experiences, but appreciating American cuisine, incorporating those into the menu, that was just a natural thing for me to do. But then you rely on the chefs to go ahead and make it all happen. They have to make it happen.
I've also heard great things about your staff too, and that people are very accommodating. They take a lot of pride and respect into what they're doing. And I was a waiter in college at a country club, and I remember how much pride I took in what I did. So from top to bottom, this looks like a winning team, and it's very exciting.
It is exciting. We do have a winning team, and we're striving every day to be better. We're not just resting on just the comments that we have right now. Everybody that comes in, we want to touch them in the right way and leave them wanting to come back and wanting to go away and share with others the experience that they had at Emmitt.
Yeah. Now, not that we're anybody, but we've had some celebrities reach out to us about the restaurants, and the things we heard about them were very good. So we don't endorse everything. We endorse what we think we respect, and we try to be winners too at our small level. And this is why we're so excited when we did Dolly Parton and when she did her stuff with the restaurant. It was amazing. The food was so good, and people were so happy, and that's what we want. When you go to Vegas, we have some friends that are in comedy clubs and stuff. We're going to try to reach out to them and see if we can't make something happen and get some of those guests, because boy, this is the place to be. All these celebrities going to Vegas with these overpriced $50 burgers and all this stuff. This isn't the place. It's an amazing place. I'm very excited about this restaurant, and me and Florence cannot wait to go.
Yeah, we can't wait
Well,
to
I can't
try
wait
it.
to see you guys there. Send everybody a note. Let me know when you're coming. Hopefully, I'm out there when you're out there.
Oh, that would
Okay.
be an honor. Thank you, Emmitt, for spending time with us. And Emmitt's Vegas is going to just absolutely rock it. And we are going to tell every soul that we know about it and all our friends in Vegas. And we want that place packed. We want that to be the place to be. And once in a while, Emmitt's there. And when you see him, make sure you go say hi to him. He'd love it.
You might not have to come to me. I may come to you if you're inside the restaurant.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
great.
nice. That's nice. Thank you so much, Emmitt. We
Thank you.
take care now.